For you to get to your first 100K, for example, it can be 100% effort. But to move past that, it needs to be 25% leverage, 75% effort. Then it goes to 50% effort, 50% leverage.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to have more leverage than effort. And unfortunately, people just stick at the effort level.
This is why people are so absolutely, and myself included, why we are so absolutely in love with AI.
Because you're enamored, like you're literally so...
do not have an excuse for your vision anymore. Amazing.
People looked at Steve Jobs. He came up with the vision and then told the tech team to come up with the solution.
Yes.
80% of entrepreneurs burn out for year 3 and
I mean, burnout comes from, number one, being overwhelmed with the kind of work, with the amount of work that you need to do, but also the kind of work that you have to do. Like, there's certain work that you're just like, this is such a waste of my time. And time, and not wasting my time and like, oh, this is horrible, but like, it's actually like, physically, it's a waste of time. Like, you shouldn't be downloading 15 slides every time. You shouldn't. It does cost something. Because if it's people, then you have to capacitate people, right? You can't just automatically hire people and then you've got a fully equipped team of people that know exactly what you do, especially if what you do is very specific and requires a certain level of knowledge.
And a lot of us think growth is 50 employees. I don't think our agency needs to grow in order for it to grow in numbers of human beings order for it to grow. This is it, right?
This is it.
It literally is. The thing is, once you get to the sweet spot of the type of people that you need, and then you support that with the right resources and systems and the process that makes sense, then the growth is just...
Well, then burnout isn't there, right? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hustle&Heart.
Miss Producer, what's the topic for today? Season 2. I don't have a mic. Holly the creative.
Chloe, the creator, our producer.
I don't have a mic. What's happening?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hustle&Heart. Chloe, what's our topic for the day?
Oh my gosh, this is episode 4. We're only saying welcome to Hustle&Heart now. We have no intro.
No,
That's the
Chloe's
problem.
gonna do the Hustle&Heart thing.
That thing.
Yes.
But it never comes out of our mouths.
It's okay.
Oh my
Apparently they
goodness.
don't do it anymore. Apparently there's no jingle on YouTube.
Oh, that's a lie.
That's what they said. The Gen Zs told me that there's no jingle. Because I was like,
children
no,
are lying.
there's a jingle. Because like even I was like, no, but y'all's
You can actually-
channel,
No.
like jingle.
Can I please tell you the way that YouTube has updated, right? You can put in your pre and post roll after uploading your video.
No, I get that, but then they told me that
we can
she
go
gave
back.
me
No, we can go back to our old videos. Why would YouTube want you have a new feature which they load for you to put in your pre-roll?
No, but I think they're using the pre-roll for like the snippets. You know, like they'll do the snips, like
No, like you can actually, it can even be mid-roll.
Yeah, bro. I just got told that we don't do a
Don't listen
a
to the Gen
jingle.
Z.
That's what they told me. I'm going on what they're saying. So we don't have a jingle. We just get into it. And she sent me all the references, and I was like, oh.
But who said it?
Polly did.
Famous
Polly
producer.
the producer. She did bring a lot of proof. And like she basically
But
brought proof
in the
of
proof,
like
who's the proof?
no, but that's the thing. I was also like, oh, you're gonna give me like no, she actually gave me like real like people that I would follow. She's like, yeah, you see this no, and I'm like, oh, they don't do a jingle. We don't do a jingle.
It depends on the person. But yeah.
I
agree
was
with you.
like,
It's fine.
I think every YouTube needs a jingle because I didn't know when YouTube started, but apparently you just no jingles.
You just jump into the conversation.
Yes. Anyway,
We don't
Chloe,
greet
what is
each
our
other anymore.
what is our topic for the day?
Why 80% of entrepreneurs burn out before year 3 and how to avoid.
I don't know.
They burn out because of meritocracy.
Explain
They
to us meritocracy.
burn out.
Because all we know about meritocracy is what the DA tells us.
Well, here's the thing. People burn out because we have this idea that like how you work is like the amount of hours you work is directly correlated with how much you earn. So if you say when you get into a business that I'm going to earn 100,000 Rand at the end of the month, right? And you start working and your first full day you make 100 Rand. Your thoughts are, okay, I just have to times that by 100. and we never detach from that thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you never say, how can I work different in the same amount of hours to just make 200 Rand? We always say, okay, I did 10 steps to get to 100 Rand. Therefore, I must do 100 steps to get to 100 Rand. We never say, how can I make the 10 steps more profitable?
Yeah.
And that's what leads to burnout.
Yes.
We never, unfortunately, we can find different methods, we can find different systems, we can try and find different methods and different systems, but they still link to the same thinking. It's still linked to the effort equals money thinking. We never move to leverage. You know, one of the things that we teach, one of our favorite master classes is seven thoughts of a seven-figure woman, right? And we teach principles. One of the principles is leverage. And it says that for you to get to your first 100K, for example, it can be 100% effort. But to move past that, it needs to be 25% leverage, 75% effort. Then it goes to 50% effort, 50% leverage.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to have more leverage than effort.
Yes.
And unfortunately, people just stick at the effort level.
So this is specifically for a service-based business, right? Because I think it's different for retail. Because retail says
You sell more units.
yes, you have to. But then what happens is
Even
that
then,
as a
Nyaki,
service-based business,
if I'm selling from my boot,
no, if you're selling from your boot, it's something you can make things more expensive or you can reduce the cost. But if, for example, you have a spaza shop, right? A knickknacks cost 10 Rand. Like there's no, you have to, in order to make 100 Rand, you need to sell 10 knickknack packets. But what the point is to say, like, yes, you're selling from the spaza shop, but can you supply to other people, right?
you're moving from the thinking already. So there are people who can be in the retail space. Your friend does this, right? There are people in the retail space that still stick to the effort equals money thing. So they'll still have, I'm selling through my spaza shop, the knickknacks. Let me just stay open for longer.
Yes.
It's still effort, money. They never go to, how can I make the knickknacks more expensive, or how can I sell something more expensive? Because it's still like, I'm still at the spaza shop. I'm still open for the same amount of hours.
Yes.
I'm just selling something that
Something
is
else that
with
has
with a
higher
bigger margin.
Okay.
They never move from that.
Yeah.
So you can be in any business, but unless you move from that thinking of effort equals money, irrespective of what you're selling, even if you come up with new ideas, because a person can say, okay, smoothies plus knickknacks. You know, it's still that same thinking. You never move from it.
Yeah.
Like the value of your time, that's all you ever have. Some people never get to the point where they say, how do I increase like the price of my time? I can charge 1,000 Rand per hour. How can I go to 3,000 Rand per hour? It's still a time thinking. I still have to work the hour. And because we never move from time for money, we will burn out. We will burn out. And you can come up with so many ideas. But unless you detach from time and money,
So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to attach then? So if you're finding this episode useful, I have something that I think is going to interest you as an entrepreneur. If your business is not paying you at least 35,000 Rand per month, we've developed a free audit that is going to help you assess what the issues could be. I know as a busy entrepreneur, you get into the rut of doing the work, like pushing every day, pitching, but there's something that you're missing. This audit helps you identify what that is and helps you figure out what to do about it. See the details below on how you can access it completely for free. Let's get back to the episode.
So we have to learn how to build leverage, something that's going to continue to make money for us without time, with our time spent making the money. So when we had our first meeting about like, okay, how are we gonna do this after we slid into each other's DMs now.
Regrettable moments.
We already were speaking leverage. Like we're gonna build a thing that we can sell. Like our goal is not to work on this specific thing until we die.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Our thing was we're gonna build leverage, and I think that's why we're willing to lose money to build it,
and
to figure it out.
Yeah. Because effectively, what we're trying to do is actually build a brand that is going to be this was the world's equitable, but enough equity, brand equity to be able to hand it over to something and say, or someone, an entity to say, oh, well, this is what we've developed. Hustle and Heart podcast, sponsor the whole episode, sponsor the whole season for R1 million, done. And we record for 6 days or 2 days and it's done. That's the beauty, and that's what we're trying to do effectively. I get that. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, even in retail space, you're right in saying that a person goes from the back of their boot and then saying, how can I build a brand so that the same t-shirt costs more because there's more demand for it? How can I distribute it through other channels? Because I'm not working to sell it anymore. Someone else is selling it for me. And that's leverage. Distribution is leverage, right? So in like very classic business, what they teach you in school is like the resources, the different types of resources that you have. Labor is one of those things that you can leverage for you to make money without you having to be the person who's actually doing all the work. Developing a system, which is one of the things I look at our business all the time. I'm just like, we could sell our system.
Oh yeah, no, I'm working towards that.
Like even if it's not the actual software, but the process.
Yeah,
we could 100% sell the process itself.
Yes,
as something that can make money on our behalf.
No, absolutely, because that's what you would do if you were if for example we run an agency, right? So if we were going to help other agencies build system, right? So how do we get to an 8-team business in the first 2 years, which for most people are like, wow, that's a big team, and we're like, yeah, but we know how to do it, right? We've got tools, we've got a little toolbox there where we know who to call to give us money for people. We know how to leverage certain funds, and we know how to leverage certain income streams to be able to do that, so that we can capacitate, so that we can step away. I get that.
Yeah. And even there was a point where I called you, or it was a WhatsApp, and I was like, we have a $500,000 a month system. We actually just have to inject the work to actually stress it. We actually have to stress it.
Yeah.
Like we're at the point where we're just like, this could work. We actually have to stress it, because it's now about testing and like tweaking and like fixing some of the things. But we have all the parts for $500,000 a month.
Yeah, we've got all the parts, because so a lot of the parts, and this is maybe
without increasing the team.
Well, this is the thing, is that a lot of the parts before, and I think this is the difference between, let's say, last year and this year, is that now we're saying, how can we capacitate our team, and how can we build leverage within our team instead of building more things? So it's to say, like, we've got Oli, our producer. How do we capacitate Oli so that she doesn't have to physically do stuff? So it's whether it's AI, whether it's the systems that we're building, whether it's certain tools that she's being able to use, so that she can go from spending 6 hours editing a video to 20 minutes editing a video, which is 100% possible if the system is in place, right? If she's creating ads, like, is there a 1-button prompt that can create all the ads for her? We got there. We're there.
Yay.
We're at there. Tell me about your business and we'll create all your ads. And that saves.
Remember, there was a time, where you used to look at me and be like, Kopano's thinking about things that can't happen. When we were talking about the app that we're going to develop. And I was like, what we want to build was X.
Yes.
And it's so crazy how the world has changed
for that to be possible.
For that to actually be possible.
No, so the thinking was ahead, right? But I think this is the dichotomy with any business.
Yes.
With any visionary or founder, is that sometimes you're ahead, like the world kind of has to catch up to your vision.
Yeah.
And with AI, like, this is why people are so absolutely, and myself included, why we are so absolutely in love with AI.
You're enamored. Like, you're literally so...
do not have an excuse for your vision anymore. Like, whatever you want to build, you do not have an excuse, right? You don't need to have money. Like, literally, currently, I'm building a product, or my husband and I are building a product that we're selling to a business for a good chunk of money. It's costing us 1,000 Rand a month in Claude subscriptions to build this thing.
Yeah.
That would not have been possible
Never.
8 months ago.
No.
Right? Because we've got all the tools and all the resources that we need, but you need to be ready.
Yes.
Right? You need to have had so my husband is always like, no, but anybody can do it. And it's not true, because the framework, the thinking, the understanding how the process is supposed to work in order to flesh out the detail. Because what AI and what technology has allowed you to do, it's allowed you to build and to iterate really quickly. But if you don't know what you're building, then you're actually not going to build anything
You're just going to work in
sustainable.
circles and you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. So one of the things, so I'm not obviously, but I was in the built environment. So I studied construction, and part of, like, I always look at rich people's houses and I'm just like, you had all the money in the world and this is what you built?
This is what you ended up with?
Like, every house looks exactly the same, and not
No
like
imagination
at all. Like, where's the atrium? Where's the, like, you built,
You
oh
got
wow,
all the space.
a glass balustrade. Wow, shiny white tiles. Wow,
But
gold
Nyaki,
taps.
this is why
Ooh,
this is
so
why
amazing.
people looked at Steve Jobs. He came up with the vision and then told the tech team to come up with the solution.
Yes.
He was ahead, but then because he had the company and the resources, he made them have to solve. So I watched a video that he said he put up, and somebody was talking about customers and all that stuff. He's like, no, you actually start with the customer experience and you work backwards with the technology.
Yeah.
And technology has come to the point now where it's almost pushing us to be more imaginative, which is so exciting.
Yeah. So it's like almost like, what do you want to build?
Yeah.
And then build it.
But the thing is, the reason why you guys can do that is because you've divorced that thinking, that time money thinking. You've divorced that thinking and you're able to think of value completely differently and output completely differently. As long as people see output attached to time, they'll be limited in their thinking. But as soon as you can see that output can be done in a vast number of ways. For some people, they're like, if I want to increase output, I'm just going to hire people. Right? Other people are just like, if I want to increase capacity, if I want to increase output, there's so many other things that I can leverage.
But you have to build to that, right? Leverage is not something that you get off the bat. That is something that I think,
and it costs money.
Well, it costs something. It does cost something. Because if it's people, then you have to capacitate people, right? You can't just automatically hire people and then you've got a fully equipped team of people that know exactly what you do, especially if what you do is very specific and requires a certain level of knowledge, right? You have to train people. Like, literally every person that joins, every team member that joins Club She Is, we have to explain what a funnel is. And it's just like, and then so explain what a funnel is, and then they need to understand it so well and so intimately that they themselves can build sales funnels because they're part of the process. We don't
want them to just build it. We want them to get to the point where they know it so well that they can improve it.
Yeah, well, first we have to get to build to an acceptable level where Nyaki's
and then
just
you can
not
have and then you can have meaningful contributions to how the funnel actually works.
Yeah.
And we used to get so irritated about like, why is it taking so long for someone to understand what a funnel is?
But when they get it, right?
So
and that's the beauty of leverage, I suppose, is that when it finally clicks, then you're like, oh, okay. And then you're actually just sending 5-minute messages to say like, hey, just do this thing quickly, or what about this, or have you thought about that? And that's like, I love my team because of that. Like, not everybody's there, and I know we're getting a lot of, I would say 60% of the team is there. The other 40% will obviously get there as time goes. But like, there is a level of rapport that you're able to build with people or in people to say, okay, you're now an expert in this, or you're building towards an expert in this, because then that allows them also then to leverage other things so that they themselves can capacitate, so that they don't burn out.
Yeah.
Because the opposite is true. It's like when you're at work and you're refining, burnout comes from, number one, being overwhelmed with the kind of work, with the amount of work that you need to do, but also the kind of work that you have to do. Like, there's certain work that you're just like, this is such a waste of my time. And not wasting my time and like, oh, this is horrible, but like, it's actually like, physically, it's a waste of time. Like, you shouldn't be downloading 15 slides every time. You shouldn't be drafting your own slides. Like, if you've got the idea, you've got the research, like, why are you doing your own research when technology is there to be able to do that? Why are you creating? Obviously, you must create so that you know what you're doing and all of those things. But there's certain leverage, whether it's technology, whether it's resources, that you can do so that it actually does prevent burnout. Yeah.
But that's also like, by the time when you get to the point where you're not just leveraging the company or leveraging yourself, but you're also finding, how can I increase the capacity of the people who work? So moving down in the business, that's like exponential growth. So, and I know that there's this company that I've always looked up to because they're huge. and there's only 6 people in the head office of the business.
Mm.
And a lot of us think growth is 50 employees. I don't think our agency needs to grow in order for it to grow in numbers of human beings
I'm
in
done.
order for
This
it to
is
grow.
it.
This is it, right?
This is it.
It literally is the thing is once you get to the sweet spot of the type of people that you need,
Mm.
and then you support that with the right resources and systems and the process that makes sense,
Mm.
then the growth is just
Well, then burnout isn't there, right?
it
And I
isn't.
think that's what the but there's the opposite of that is that you have to sacrifice for that, because the burnout from an entrepreneur comes from, well, I don't actually can't afford to hire people right now, or I've lost my client, which means I actually should be getting rid of people so that I can continue to pay myself. So it's like maybe there'll be a month or a year that you don't pay yourself. Do you do
Are you
that
willing?
in the in the intention and in the strategy to be able to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you willing to sacrifice that in order to get there? So do you have the vision to even do that?
Good luck. Don't do it.
That's all we have to say. That's it. As of from that I mean, I love conversations like that, man. I love conversations like that. But if you want to see more conversations like this, comment down below and let us know which part of this was interesting for you and what you want to see us talk about in our next episode. And also, we're recording from the Club She Is studios. So this is where we invite women in to build credibility and have a content system that actually helps them grow their businesses as well. So one day you come in and we create the entire month of content for you. Not just any regular content, but content that works for you to reach your goals. So if you want to find out more about that, details are down below. And we'll see you in the next episode of Hustle and Heart. Bye.
Bye.